moving-up.fm. Today, we're going to complete the different steps in assessing Microsoft Cloud services. This guide was created for customers that want to execute an end-to-end risk analysis of Microsoft services in the most effective way possible, leveraging optimized tools and processes that will help in getting a qualitative assessment done as fast as possible while staying focused on the most important risks. Solution security design. When internal security and compliance requirements are unclear, or when no architecture design exists that defines how these are configured in practice, your assessment of the Microsoft Cloud may become unnecessarily difficult. To avoid this, we recommend using a set of initial security design decisions prior to deployment that are later included in the risk assessment process. This design work implies choosing product features that must be enabled to meet all internal security and compliance requirements. While this may be an obvious step in IaaS, PaaS deployments, it is also overlooked for SaaS solutions such as Microsoft 365. Let's discuss. We will be going over Step 6, Risk Action Plans and Service Approval. Step 7, Notify Financial Privacy Supervisors. Step 8, Join the Microsoft Cloud Financial Services Compliance Program. And that would include the next step, production deployment. Step 6, Risk Action Plans and Service Approval. The business case, risk assessment or summary, compliance assessment or summary, and the risk exceptions to be approved must now be joined up in a management letter asking formal approval to start consuming the cloud service. The exit plan, when ready, may also be included in this document set. It is recommended that all stakeholders from Step 2 are somehow involved in the review and approval process for using this cloud service, and that accountability and responsibility in the first line is clear and unambiguous. The case approval is strengthened further if a financial institution can demonstrate that second line risk functions have been involved, as well as endorsing the deployment. Finally, optionally, internal audit may also be involved in the risk assessment of the cloud service, presenting their findings to the audit committee. For critical or important case, executive board committee approval should be considered with further reporting to the external board of directors. The estimated time to complete this would be 2 days plus the lead time. Step 7, Notify Financial and Privacy Supervisors. As a last and final step, consider what notification and or approval requirements may apply in your applicable jurisdictions for a new outsourcing arrangement, and notify your supervisors accordingly. For this step, our recommendation is to strive for maximal transparency by not just informing the regulators where notification is mandatory, providing them only with the minimum info as required, but instead to inform all supervisors on the recently approved case. The notification process must not focus on details, but explain which cloud service is being deployed and why, business case summary or benefits, risk governance and approval process that was followed, risk decisions that have been taken, and which is optionally, it's optional, okay? Address key risks that have been assessed and explain how these are mitigated. Optional is address key compliance requirements and explain how these are mitigated. And again, optionally, address the exit strategy highlights. We recommend notifying the financial supervisors after a risk approval has been obtained and not to wait until moments before the expected deployment into production. A regulatory notification template is available. Estimated time to complete, approximately 2 months. And here's a tip. Regulators will not formally approve of cloud service in writing. They only expect to be notified hereof. It is not uncommon for them to come back with questions in a Q&A process, which can take some time to complete. However, a formal approval must not be expected at the end of this process, and in the absence of an approval requirement, responding to such questions can occur without holding up deployment of cloud services. This is because moving to the cloud is the institution's responsibility and decision, and in most cases, the regulator's role is primarily bound to keeping oversight, not granting approvals. Step 8, and this is optional. Okay, you can join the Microsoft Cloud Financial Services Compliance Program. The FSCP was specifically created to help financial services and regulated financial affiliates assess the risk of using Microsoft Cloud services. This, and it's a paid program, the FSCP program, offers deep insights into Microsoft Cloud Services capabilities, risk, and performance, but is entirely optional for those customers that want to achieve the highest level of assurance over the service. The FSCP is available to FL customers using Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Dynamics 365, and Microsoft Intune. Next step, production deployment. The step-by-step risk assessment process ends with the production deployment of your cloud services, which can happen shortly after the financial supervisors have been notified in step 7. Other prerequisites that are typically part of a cloud migration, but that have not been mentioned explicitly in this discussion, such as technical preparations, data migration activities, upgrading network connectivity, and modifying the security perimeter, IT training, transformation, internal management of change, MOC, and preparation of end user training, etc. All these activities can take place in parallel with the risk assessment phase in order to keep the time needed to deploy these services as short as possible. Therefore, when carefully planned, a successful first deployment of Microsoft Cloud services can be achieved in a matter of months while staying fully compliant with all supervisory requirements. We will complete this with a list of useful resources for evaluating your cloud services. We have Microsoft Cloud Security, Data Management and Transparency within the Microsoft. Where is your data located? Microsoft Cloud Encryption, Tenant Isolation in Office 365, Data Resiliency in Office 365, Data Retention, Deletion, and Destruction in Office 365. You also have the Administrative Access Controls in Office 365, Office 365 Auditing and Reporting Features, Protecting against DDoS attacks in Office 365. We also have Office 365 Customer Security Considerations Workbook, Office 365 Customer Security Considerations User Guide, Azure Security and Compliance Blueprint. Also, there is the Introduction to Azure Security, Azure Security White Papers, and Dynamics 365 Security Overview. Be sure to check out Compliance, Microsoft Cloud Compliance Offerings, Microsoft Cloud Financial Services Compliance Program, and Compliance Guidelines per country. Join us every Friday with our uploads taking place up to Monday, taking the next steps, moving up, talking technology and business, working to modernize and function in today's era after the pandemic. It's hosted by Diana Emerson. You will find how-to videos and more at our channel, Diana Emerson Today. Bye for